Look, man, it's very simple. All you gotta do is hit just a little baby fade on it. You've done this many times. This is your home course. Get a little feel for the swing. That's one, feels good. Okay, do we want another one? No, we don't want another one. All right, you know where to keep your hands, keep your arms far away from your body. Ignore that cart that's down there, don't think about it. It's a little baby fade right down the fairway. It's gonna look so good. You know your miss is left, so you do not want to hit it left. Keep your arms out, but also don't hit it too far right, because you know you can hit it too far right when you overcompensate for hitting it left. So just take it back, keep your arms wide. Yeah, wide. Is that good? Hit down. Oh, is that gonna be good? I think it's a little baby fade. Okay, the start line wasn't that good, but you know what? It's gonna end up all right.
You feel like you think too much, or do you feel like you think too little in golf? Well, I asked you guys this a while ago, and most people said, think too much, which makes sense. I definitely agree that people think too much, but I also think on certain shots, people don't think enough. And I think people think too much about the wrong things. So I'm gonna tell you, from my perspective, a little bit of what is thinking too much and what is thinking too little. I'm gonna try to hit a nice little fade up there. That was not a fade. Well, it was a fade. It's not at the target, but we're fine. It's 220 yards. I mean, you can't expect to be perfect. Most people are probably thinking way too much on the scary shots. And the scary shots are the ones where people lose the most. Shots like this, probably scary because people probably don't hit it out of the bunker well enough. So they're probably overthinking what to do as opposed to trying to simplify a bunker shot as much as possible. Wide hands, splash down into the sand. I got it out nice and easy. So let's talk about what constitutes thinking too much. I would imagine, let's start off with any scary or anxious shots. And that could be from good things or bad things. If we take this hole, for example, if I have a tendency to hook it, well, I'm probably gonna be overthinking too much. I may have a tendency to think about what have I practiced on the range to not hook it? What can I do to hit a fade? What can I do to not hit into those trees, which results in a lot of overthinking and a lot of anxiety. Because I'm thinking too much about my golf swing as opposed to thinking about course management, thinking about what do I need to do, where do I want this ball to go, and just playing whatever swing that I have today. I broke my tee. So it can be easy to think about, how do I avoid my miss? How do I avoid my miss by playing the course? So if I slice it or if I hook it, overthinking too much in this position while playing golf is thinking about, okay, well, how do I hit a draw when I never hit a draw? As opposed to, how do I play a fade on this hole? Right, so if my shot shape is whatever it is today, maybe I'd never fade it and today is a fading kind of day, play the fade. Just your thinking to playing the course with your fade as opposed to trying to adjust your swing to the course. Oh, through the trees. It wasn't a great shot, but it was a great through the trees shot, which is, I mean, overthinking, since we're on the topic. A lot of people have anxiety about hitting their wedges. Am I going to chip it? Am I going to thin it over the green? Am I going to scull it? Am I going to chunk it? Am I going to leave it right there 200 feet in front of me? As opposed to thinking about, where do I want to land this and committing to that? So I'm thinking, where do I want to land this? I'm thinking almost right on, and that's all I'm thinking about, is my landing spot. That was right where I wanted to land it, and look at that. Fantastic chip. The other mistake that I see constantly is people with a wedge in their hand, they look at this and they think it's the feel shot. You ain't got the feel. Most people that are almost not professionals can just get the number of what this chip is. Now, I know that has been a controversial statement in the past and people have argued with me, but I almost guarantee you're going to do much better by getting the number of how far this is as opposed to the feel. Because if I hit this and I think it's 30 yards and it's actually 20 yards, guess what I'm doing? I'm overshooting. Well, that's gonna be a bad time. Land it right there. Is it gonna go in? No. That's a great example of a good short game. You can also fall into the trap of overthinking based on your performance. Let's say I get a blow-up hole on the last hole. Well, I may be thinking now on this tee shot, all right, I have to hit a good one because I need to recover based on the last hole. And due to that, now I'm not playing course management. I'm trying to compensate for the previous hole. So I'm overthinking it. I'm not thinking about what I need to do right here and right now. Alternatively, maybe you had, you're 4 under through 4 holes. Now you're thinking, hey, I need to keep this going. Now you're overthinking and taking yourself out of the here and the now on what you need to do, because you're basing your swing and everything that you're doing right now based on the last few holes, or maybe even the last hole, or maybe the future. But we want to stay present and think about, what do I need to do right here and now? Not that. Sometimes you can even fall into that trap on the same hole. I hit it out of bounds, and I took the entire time getting to my ball to think, hey, you suck at golf, you're not doing well, you're probably gonna max this hole, this is a par 5, don't max it, what are you doing? As opposed to pausing, breathing, and resetting, collecting myself on the way to the ball. And thinking about, okay, well, what do I need to do? How do I stop the bleeding? Only need to get it back into the fairway. I'm not gonna go for it because I'm in the rough, I'm too far, I don't need to do that. Instead, I hit a perfect shot like that, right back into the fairway. We lay up and we accept, what do we do from there? We don't overcompensate. Alternatively, people can also underthink by getting into their head too much, and they think, all right, well, I messed up this hole, I fucked up this hole, and they just walk up and they whack the ball. Well, you don't want to do that obviously either, because then you're just kind of giving up on the hole, and you are guaranteed to blow up if you do that. Even if you're in a position where I have to lay up twice, say there's water in front of there and I'm not confident and I'm thinking, all right, I got to stop the bleeding, but I don't want to go for it, lay up again. Who cares? Most of the time, you will score better by stopping the blowups. And a lot of the time, you're going to do that all up in there. What? I hit it short. A few more areas where you can overthink is off the tee shots, maybe on a par 3. Maybe you have a club in your hand where you're not confident with it. Maybe you're on a shot into the wind and you're thinking outside of your skill level based on, all right, I'm into the wind, I'm in between clubs. What if I try and knock down 7 iron or knock down 6 iron? When in reality, you don't really know what that means. All you know is I'm trying to do too much outside of my skill level. Now, if you have the skill, do that, right? You know what your proper thinking is for your skill level. Or for a lot of average golfers, things like wind is important, but it's not as important as just hitting a good shot. If you're in between clubs, a good rule of thumb that I have found is club up, 3/4 swing. That's it. If you're into the wind, apply the same principle, depending on how much wind is there. And I thin it into the bunker. But the distance is fine. And I broke my tee again. You can also think outside your skill level with wedge shots. You can think, all right, I got 40 yards. I'm going to play a 60 degree. I'm open up the club face a little bit. And I'm going to get a nipper and let it stop, 2 feet from the pin. But you don't have the skill for that. And then you end up thinning it or hitting it way too hard. Most of the time for the average golfer, getting it on the green as quick as possible and letting it run is going to be the best bet. Most people don't need a 60 degree, and you're gonna do much better with maybe a 56 or something lower. But letting it run out as much as possible is going to be a much better result as opposed to hitting it high, letting it fly, because most of us don't get enough spin with our wedges, and it's gonna run out a lot more after it lands. And you end up in a position where you do that, and that's not what we want, because we're thinking outside our skill level. Most of this overthinking or underthinking is gonna be based off of your own skill level and your own capabilities. I'm just talking about in general and generalizing it. For me, even if we take a shot like this, I can think about the course management and underthink at the same time. Well, I'm thinking, hey, it's a nice little, pretty much straight, it dog legs a tiny bit to the left, hit a draw. That's proper course management thinking. However, I'm not taking in, this is a super narrow fairway. Have I been hitting draws today? Have I been hitting, the fairways? Is my dispersion too high today? Sometimes you do need previous information, but you don't want to be thinking about that too much over the shot. So if I was hitting fairways today, and I will go for it. If I'm not hitting fairways today, I'd probably club down to a club that is not gonna have such high dispersion. We can just do that. Dead straight over the trees, no draw. This driver goes very straight. It's just, I'm hitting it not on my start line. One of the worst things that can happen to your golf game is when you're overthinking or underthinking and it works. So if I'm underthinking or overthinking this shot, I'm gonna get above those trees and just do it, and it works, well, that's gonna reinforce me doing some stupid shit. I think it worked. No, it didn't. It hit the tree way up top. It was close though. Once again, it can also happen the other way, where you think perfectly, you have your number, you've been playing course management, so you think, all right, I got about 50, 60 yards maybe. I know my 60-yard swing. I'm gonna hit my 60-yard swing. It's gonna come out a little fade because the fade has been all day. So I'm gonna aim for the fat part of the green and go from there. And then it doesn't work. But guess what? You did everything right. And that is what we want to reinforce. You're never gonna have perfect results all the time. You may thin it. You may end up with a bad shot. And then you know what? That's golf. Golf is not about being perfect, but you need to try to think as perfect as you can for your own level. So it's pretty hard for me to say what is overthinking and underthinking for you. You have to figure it out for yourself. And next time you're playing golf, even though I'm talking about overthinking, take a little bit of time to think about how you're thinking, because it's gonna illuminate a lot of things. I guarantee most of your best rounds are probably gonna be where things are just flowing naturally. Some of your worst rounds are gonna be when it feels like you're overthinking a lot. At least mine are. So you have to find a balance of what is going to be working for my game. Most of the time, that's going to be whatever my swing is doing today, adopt that into the course management of the course, as opposed to trying to modify my swing every single hole to fit, well, the hole. Because then you end up doing shots like that where I haven't played a draw all day. And guess what? I try to stay on it a little bit more to get a little bit more distance. I got the distance right, I got the accuracy wrong, as opposed to playing my fade. Anyway, that's it. I'll see you next time.